Nollywood star Jim Iyke has lived a life of controversies, which he tells us have caused him to make some big sacrifices, including the discontinuation of his reality TV show Jim Iyke Unscripted. On Spotlight, the one many call Nollywood's bad boy talks about the selfish nature of entertainment as he addresses two of his biggest controversies yet. Take a listen.
Will you marry me? I don't know any other.
After giving well over a decade of his life to the entertainment industry, one of Nollywood's highest paid actors, Jim Iyke, says he's easing out of the film world to make more time for his other business ventures. Flights to Abuja and Stalker are two of the few movies he's acted in the last couple of years.
I'm not married.
The famed actor has spent more of his time in other African countries, including Kenya and Ghana. The purpose for this is often shrouded in mystery, which Iyke says is a welcome status after years of being in the spotlight.
Madam, are you okay?
The spotlight is one of the sacrifices he's made in favor of a more predictable lifestyle. He reveals his reality TV show, Jim Iyke Unscripted, which was launched in 2013, had come to an end for the sake of his loved ones and his son. Jim Iyke Unscripted gave viewers unrestricted access to Iyke's routine, his luxurious trips abroad, and lavish lifestyle, which he says put a lot of pressure on him.
I thought I could balance it where I could live a sort of private, secret, and public life, segment them adequately so that people will understand what line and level they should allow me to have my space and also get involved on there when I offer some sort of insight. But it wasn't so. To bring cameras into your life automatically throws your door open for all kinds of people to have opinions. And it's what I signed up for at that time. I didn't want to whine about it, but at some point I had to put a stop. I understand that, there are other people involved in my life now, and this is completely beyond me, and it wasn't just enough to make it about me anymore.
Lessons learned. Iyke is now moving on to another showbiz venture, The Adventurer, a series which he hopes will become a tool for social, economic, and political education. The Adventurer will camp Nigerians from different ethnic backgrounds outside the country and engage them in challenges to help them appreciate their differences.
We'll keep them in the same house and then force a conversation of sorts, force a narrative that is different from that they're used to. And then while we're doing this, we'll put them through different areas of challenges, both physically and mentally, psychologically. And at the end of the day, we know that would have sort of revamped their way of thinking, revamped their psyche, to begin to understand why the other man is the way he is. And hopefully in that state, we'll understand that our differences is actually what makes us alike in so many respects. And then you go back to your community and your family, and by extension, the country, and begin to change the ideals and the narrative of how things are.
It's obvious that Iyke would rather live a life devoid of controversies which have plagued his career. His reputation suffered a setback when a video showing him being delivered of a demonic influence in the popular synagogue church surfaced online. He reveals that a desperate search for a miracle for his then ailing mother led him to the church. He insists he was not paid to make the appearance and that he was taken advantage of.
At that point, truthfully, if they told me that there will be a cure in hell, I'll go. You're talking about your mother, So I went. I remember I went there with my security, my sister, my PA, and when we got there was constant insistence. We were upstairs in one room. There was constant insistence that I come to church that day. And I said, well, that wasn't the arrangement. The understanding is that come do what you're supposed to. Because we kept my mom, we brought her by ambulance, we kept her in the hospital nearby. I said, the understanding is that you lay your hands on her and she'll, get better. But they said, no, you must come to church. Consequently, the argument won. My sisters forced me and I went to church downstairs. I was there, and when the whole thing about touching people and they would say stuff was happening, I found it a little laughable, seriously. I'm saying this on national TV, that people can confirm or not. And I remember my sister pinching me and telling me to stop. I said, come on, man, this charity, this is what we came here for. This no, let's move mommy out of here and keep looking for medical help. Then we're about to go to South Africa to this gentleman that was recommended to us, a specialist as well. The next thing, the gentleman in question passed, and I looked at him, I still had the same look of amusement on my face, and he touched me. Now, I can't explain what happened within that space of time. Within that 5 minutes where whatever it is happened. I'm not here to start preferring explanation to spiritual things that is way beyond me. I'm a man that understands how a lot of things work. That I cannot explain. And nobody can suggest anything otherwise. Because personally, I know what happened, to me. But within that time, lacks explanation. They said I said stuff, I did stuff. I found that extremely embarrassing at that time. But even further down the line, the reason I felt extremely bitter about it was, at the end of the day, my mom didn't get healed. I still lost her, So I carried that. When people were saying all kinds of stuff about it, some people even suggested that I got paid to come through that charity. I thought that was the highest level of insult. I didn't want to come out in public media and talk about the real reason I was there, because if they understood, they would understand that it's the love of a mother that drove me there. So it happened, and it took the birth of my son really to let that issue go. For a long time, I was very bitter about it. I carried that yoke in my heart, and I just felt, I'm so mad at this man and everything that happened that time. But the truth of the matter is that I was holding myself captive, not him. He had that kind of power over me. Every time I saw him, I would request that he gets switched off. But at the end of the day, when I had my son, one night I got up, looked at my son, and felt the enormity of the kind of love only a father can feel for us. And I said, listen, for the reason, the occasion of my son's birth, I have to let this go. So I did what a man would do, cried about it, held my son, and swore that I would let it go. And by all intents and purposes, I think I have.
His altercation with popular media personality Olisa Adibua also made news. Iyke admits the situation could have been different if handled maturely.
Some men don't get over things easily. Apparently, I do. It happened in my life when I was, I was a little capricious and I didn't know any better. I could have managed. Now I'll walk away. Then I won't. That's what we're evolving beings. So him, I don't know his take on it, but I reached out recently via an assistant to say, hey, can we meet, shake hands as men and get this over with? He didn't want to. So I said, hey, man. There's much to be learned from there, but it's happened. Anybody that's looking at me in hindsight is where he is in the past. I've moved on.
Anything that comes to my mind. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Salami. Yes, sir. Come here. Yes, we know you are sorry, but take this man to the interrogation room. All right, sir.
Iyke's full revelation about the Deliverance saga can be found on our website, channelstv.com. Entertainment News will be right back after this quick break.